So, everyone, again, I'm Vince with Listings to Leads. Thanks for jumping on this call. It's actually a really great time, and I'm sure you know Beth and Richard have been working with me to get this lined up for your office. And it's coincidental, I think, that it's tying in with your summer challenge. And I got a chance to glance at it and talk a little bit about it with Beth. And you're going to find that we have a lot of tools in here and a lot of ways to give you reach. We definitely leverage social media, so I'm going to try and go through a lot of those things today. If you have questions, that's Beth, got it. Okay. If you have questions, feel free to put it in the chat panel. I'm going to try to unmute Beth right now. And Beth, you may or may not have. Oh, I can hear you.
You can hear me?
I sure can. So, and everybody else can hear you. And we're recording this, so let's kind of get into it. Everybody, welcome. Listings to Leads. We've been doing this for 10 years. I really think we're a leader in online advertising and marketing, especially when it comes to social media. And I also think we're a leader in the entire real estate marketing space when it comes to generating seller leads, listing leads. And when you scroll down, you'll see that we have a blog post right here. And I'm just going to click on it to give you a quick idea of what we're doing, what our clients are doing with our platform, and what I hope every one of you starts doing with our platform. The headline here says it pretty clearly: 118 seller leads by spending $104, right? The ad looks like this. Our client we actually give some notes about what went on here, how they did it. And our client was really generous enough to share the demographics of what he was targeting when he ran that. If you want to learn more about that whole process, you can watch this video right here. And this is one of the most important things going on in our company. And when agents hear about it, they jump right in here. And I want you to be aware that this is what you have access to now. This is a little snapshot from our mastermind group. One of our clients, and we get a message like this all the time: 8 full leads at a open house. I've got messages in our mastermind group where they're getting 60 leads in a weekend from an open house. This came in just June 9th. Ran 2 ads and has 117 leads. These are listing leads. And he's just very excited. And that's kind of what I want to see happening for all of you. One thing that I think you may or may not know about us: we're an online advertising platform. And we have all kinds of tools that are designed to market your listings. And we have a lot of tools designed to help you get listings. And we're going to dive into some of those right now. And I think I'm logged into your office account right now. I won't spend too much time here, but I do want to kind of come in real quickly and go to the listings. All of you, if you have listings, they're going to automatically flow into this account. And at that point, you should log in, you should go to your task area and whatever status is, and start going through this task list. Now I'm going to dive into all this and show you how it works and show you where I think you should concentrate on. And a lot of these tools directly relate to your challenge. And so we're going to sort of address that. So that's the listing side of things. And then there's also a landing page side of things. And landing pages are designed. We have many different landing pages. You can create as many as you want in your own account. And anytime you use those, they're going to capture leads and deliver them to you. So here, and I know it's on your challenge, to create a custom buyer landing page is actually right here. So we'll kind of dive into that. I just want to really quickly say, this is the 2 major halves: marketing listings and landing pages to help you get more listings or get more buyers. And before we dive into that, I want to go into the profile. And each of you has a profile. And it's up here. It's this little strange icon. And you can click on profile. And probably the number one thing that I want all of you to know, and Beth wants all of you to know, is you're not all in Realty Executive Santa Clarita. You have various towns like Valencia and other offices that you're in. And the first thing you should do is get right in and change that whatever city to yours and then click save. Another thing which is worth bringing up right here is the password. And when we emailed you the password, which I gotta figure that out, for some reason in your password it is capitalized on the first letter. And so the passwords are case sensitive, and it shouldn't be capitalized because they're just type your passwords in all lowercase. Once you get into your account, you can go to your profile page, click on password, and give it your own password, and type it in twice and save it, and that's how you set that. There's also something here. There's a couple things here. There's a lead gen signature bar. This is the one for the office. You each have this for you. We'll start to talk about lead generation links, and lead generation links are links designed to drive either to your website or to a landing page, and it could drive to your landing page, right? Or it could drive to your website. And the point is that right in your email, you have lead generation links. So every time you send out an email, you've got that, the availability to get a home value lead right in your email. So you can always find that on the lead signature tab here in your profile. You can copy it and embed it into Gmail, into AOL, Yahoo, Outlook, or you can, and then just save that there. So the other thing that's really important here is preferences, this tab right here. And we should have these things set, but I want you to understand what is here. First, show Zillow reviews. If you collect reviews on Zillow, check this box, and we've got a few ways to display those reviews inside the platform, and I'll show those to you in a little bit. These are lead capture settings, and I don't recommend forced registration. I think we have it all turned off, but you certainly can have forced registration. Enable Facebook registration. I'll show you what that looks like. It's very powerful. And then we also have these tools that give an auto valuation. So if you type in your address, I'll show you the tool in a little bit. It gives a number. It says, hey, what is my home worth? And we have two data sources for that, Zillow and Onboard Informametrics. I recommend that you maybe use your own house, create the landing page, test it with Zillow, test it with Onboard, and see what's the better number in your market. And that's it. That's kind of like the profile area. So what I want to do now is quickly get into, oh, actually, I missed something. And actually, this is a big, this is something that you may or may not know, but I actually saw it on your challenge. And I think the first thing on it, and Beth, if you get a chance, if you can type in the chat panel, if you know what some of these challenges are. I just can't read what I'm seeing here. But I remember I sort of glanced at one, and it was Google yourself. Right? Google yourself and try to see where you're going to come up. And boy, that's a tough thing to do. You probably will pop up on LinkedIn. But one thing that's worth noting is right here on your profile is tools and add-ons. And if you have a Gmail account, that means you have a YouTube channel. You have your own YouTube channel that you could be showing stuff on there. And I think there was something there about getting a testimonial. Like, again, it's just so small I can't read it. But I'm going to give you my advice about YouTube and getting found on the internet, and also in using video in your marketing, which is a super strong thing to do. Again, if you have a Gmail account, that means you have a YouTube account. Go activate it. And when you do, get to this page, go to YouTube Connections, and click Authorize Your YouTube Channel. It will point you directly to Google, like this. Now, I have a number of channels, right? I have, and you may have one or two or three, but you decide which one you're going to start feeding this to. You might have a personal channel, and then you might have your business channel, right? That kind of makes sense. So you click on whichever one you want, and it will start posting. What that does is that allows listings to leads to auto upload your virtual tour, courtesy of you, to your own channel. The office already has that set up so that all listings are already going to go to YouTube. This is actually a very smart thing to do because it allows your listing to be found on Google, and it's you, right? So as an example, here's a home for sale right now, and I'm gonna just highlight it. And give me a second. We'll kind of do this. When you have a home for sale, I think that I would guess, and you may know this to be kind of different, after about a week, after you've signed that contract and you're telling somebody you're selling that home, after about a week, that homeowner is going to go and Google their address and see what's going on. What does my home look like on the internet? And they take their address and they Google it. And that's what we're doing right here. And what we see here is it's on Zillow, it's on Truly, it's on Realtor.com, it's on Redfin, CB is out there, Prime Horse, and all those listings, all these great things. But you know who I don't see is I don't see Sheila's page. I don't see her tool right there on page 1 of Google, right? And that is a real challenge. As a challenge for realtors all over the country. If Sheila, and actually once the virtual tours start getting up to YouTube, YouTube usually puts your listing right on page 1 of Google. And that's because Google owns YouTube and they like to promote that. So if you've got your channel promoted, you're going to start seeing your actual listing right here on page 1. So it's a really smart thing to do. Also, I think I saw on that, and I'll go look if I see it in the chat panel there, something about getting a video of yourself or getting some content on YouTube, and I really recommend that. I'm sure most of you have some sort of smartphone, right? We almost all do today. And take that smartphone, put it in a horizontal position, and shoot a video of the next time your client is excited about you completing, a transaction for them. Shoot it in a horizontal format. And then after you've done that, upload it to YouTube. And after you've done that, get that YouTube video and get it inside of our system. And a great example, I'll show you where that could actually fit. I'm going to go to Tools here, and I'm going to click on the single property website. This is a good one of our tools. It is mobile optimized. There are a number of tools to market your listings, and they do all the things that you would sort of imagine, right? It's going to have a banner of what the status is. It's going to show the home. It's even got a lead capture page right up here to say, hey, let's get your information. You stay on top of it, right? There are also links right here, like I mentioned earlier, that can point to your website. So if you have your own website, I recommend that you definitely take these links and redirect them to yours. But there are also these tabs right here. And, photos, maps, schools. You can also create your own tab right here that says, work with Ryan. And if Ryan wants, he can create a tab there. It could show up on all of his listings. And you can embed the YouTube video of your client saying, I just sold my home and Ryan is the best, right? So YouTube is really awesome. Video content is great. We're fans of it. But let's get into what you should sort of be doing with your listings. And Beth, did you have a question there?
Not yet.
Okie doke. So there are tools to get up on. So this is the side of the platform which is designed for marketing your listings. And instead of working in your office account now, which, is sort of your thing here, I am going to jump into my demo account so we can see all the tools and I'm not affecting your live listings. But I do want to point out a couple of things. Just plain and simple. Your listings are on your listings page. The first thing I recommend is make sure your statuses are correct. And sometimes they don't go pending, and that's an important thing. And sometimes they don't go sold. So you want to log in, make sure you got the right status, And when you do, click this task button, go through the tasks, and I'm going to go through all these tasks with you. And just go from top to bottom, and you'll just have a ton of reach. So if you look at your challenge, you're going to find that these things actually answer your challenge right there. So here is a listing landing page that says this home is pending. You can get this out just by clicking this Facebook button and click share, right? And share, and then it shows you a picture of the home. You should say, hey, you know what? This home is pending, but it's awesome. Check it out, right? And all you got to do is type in a message there that's social and click this button at the bottom right to post to Facebook. So it's very simple to get to like one of the biggest social media platforms in the country. Click here to get to Twitter. And just as I don't want to jump all over the place here, but in terms of sharing to social media, there's Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Google. And I can tell you from our experience, Facebook is #1 for lead capture. I'm hearing great things about LinkedIn, and you probably are sort of creating these networks on LinkedIn. You have no idea why. I really don't know why. But our clients are clicking this and sharing their tools just to LinkedIn the same way they do to Facebook. As you can see, it just takes a couple of seconds. It's going to show a nice picture of the home. You can write in a nice message, and bam, it's there. And we're also hearing Pinterest has some click-through and lead gen too. Not a lot of people know about that site. You have to sort of set it up to work for you. But everybody knows about Twitter, and a lot of people know what Google Plus is. But the point is, to get to all of these platforms just takes a click of a button, and that you write a nice social message. And then there's there's the home, there's the exposure, and there's the lead capture. Okay, so it's pretty simple. So before I go further down that task list, I'm going to get out of your live account and I'm going to go into mine. But before I even go there, I want to point out, and I'm going to show you in a minute, that we definitely want to market. Well, I see Ryan has something coming soon, and if you can market coming soon, by all means, you know this, I'm sure, down there. Inventory is tight. So if you can get something on the market before it's even in the MLS and before other realtors can start talking about it, coming soon is just the smartest thing you can do. And the listing landing page is definitely the tool to do it. Excuse me. And so this one has, he's got the settings to where you type in your name and email and you click that and you'll be dropped on the single property website. So it's a simple tool to get access to. We create it automatically as soon as you get your listing in. And then all the other statuses are, just listed, open house. We'll go through and look at open house. Let's look, I think there's an open house right here. Let's look at that real quick. When you have an open house, click on the task list, work through the task list. But for your social media, getting an open house listing landing page on the market is I think the smartest thing you can do. In all kinds of real estate platforms. There's a lot of companies that have real estate marketing tools and open house marketing tools. None of them are as effective as the one you're looking at right now. Because this open house is what? It's happening tomorrow. If you want information, all you got to do is click continue with Facebook. Now, I'm going to click it, and I want you to watch what happens. Right here in the center of my screen, right by that 49 ticking second thing, it's going to be a little flash of a little window. And when I click that, let's watch for that flash. Bang, there it is. And it's saying, hey, continue with Facebook. So I got to sign into my Facebook account. And once I've signed in for the day, I'm sort of good to go. Now they're showing the phone number, but I can just go past that, or I can give you a phone number, or maybe they have phone number required. Looks like they have phone number required. So I'm going to put it there to get onto the next step. I don't recommend having the phone number required. A lot of people will leave you, but what it does is it gives my information to Sheila, and it shows me, the consumer, the date and the time, right, of this open house, and also the price if you want to have the price showing, right? So, but that's kind of the gist of how lead capture works in listings to leads. You can either click a button that says continue with Facebook, or you can fill out a form, put your name and email, and then you get the information that you're after. All right. And so I definitely love the open house stuff there. Sheila, sorry, I'm not in the market to buy a home down there, so don't get too excited when you get my contact info. And the rest I can't quite show you, so let's jump out from here and let's go into my account. Sign out. And you can all sign in and sign out right here. When you have your ID and password, there is a login button up here. And we'll kind of go through, I showed you Sheila's open house, right? So I'm going to go through what Sheila should be doing, and I'll just go through my open house. I think I have an open house in my account as well. Right there. You can tell it's an open house because your little green house area, you hover over it. There it is. Go to your task list. And every time you have a status, you should literally go through this task list again. You may not have to do every step, but you should do a few, and especially the ones related to social media. So this is an open house. I am going to click this button and I'm going to open up social media. And I just mentioned to you that you should definitely use the listing landing page. So if I want to get this listing landing page, which is again got the little ticking clock there, out on Facebook, all I got to do is click Facebook. And it opens up, and I type in something smart about the home. And you want to type in something really important about the home. And maybe it's in a great neighborhood. Maybe it's got a new granite kitchen. You know all the bells and whistles of this home because you're selling it. And note that right here is a little toggle that goes to your timeline. You might want to have it go to your business page, or you might want to do it 2 separate times so it goes to your personal page and to your business page. But that is, that's where you adjust that. After you've written your message, you click post and it will be live on Facebook. I'm gonna just do this so we can see it together, right? You would want to write something a little bit, trickier than that or nicer than that. But I'm in a post, and this is going to sort of, let's see what happens. I think it posted, and now I'm just back here on my work page, right? So let's see here. I got my phone ringing in the background. I don't need that. At that point, check this box here, and that puts today's date as a reminder to you, and if you want to share this page with your client, to say, I did all of these things to market your home, just on the open house. Now, the other really, really great thing about the way we leverage social media is where it says social media posts for sellers, okay? And so we want to incorporate your clients, the homeowners, in the marketing process. And it's because our clients, I mentioned briefly, we've been doing this for 10 years, and the reason we keep growing is because we keep generating leads for our clients. And, if you want to grow your business, you're going to need more leads. But our clients really love referrals. And our tools are designed to bring up your name in front of your clients, friends, and family. I'm going to show you that in just a second. This is our mastermind group. And I mentioned at the beginning of the call all this great success that our clients get. This client put this message up in March and said, I ran an ad. I am going to show you how to run an ad on Facebook on this call today. And I got 61 leads. Not bad for my first open house. And the exact tool that I showed you is the exact tool she ran to get all those sorts of leads. But me right now, I want to show you how we incorporate your sellers, right? So first, before we go there, I'm going to show you here. This is what I just shared, right? So all my friends are now going to see this open house. And if they click on it, what happens? But this listing landing page pops up. And now you kind of know how I can capture a lead from here. Excuse me, guys, I got a cough here. Now, what I did before we got here is I copied this email here, this little message that actually we email it to you automatically as soon as you change the status. We email this tool to you. So I want you to know how it works because it's incredibly powerful. You get the content what is between the red lines, and all you got to do is read it and it'll explain to you what you do. Get it to your client. and say, client, please put that on your wall. I'm doing everything. I'm got this on the MLS. I'm marketing like crazy. But please just copy and paste that and put that on your wall. Now, my name is Vincent Meza, and this is like my demo account. So you got to kind of understand that the wording is a little bit different. But this would come from your client's name in their account, and it would be talking about you at your office and that you're doing a lot of marketing. We expect a great turnout. Please share this with anyone you think that, And so when they click on this, what happens? But, lead capture. So yes, it is about lead capture. But really, it's more about getting your name in front of your clients' friends and family and colleagues. And this is pretty much where everybody is communicating with their friends and family and colleagues. It's on Facebook. Whether you do or whether you do not, 71% of adults in the United States spend around 30 minutes every day on Facebook. So you want to have a presence there, and we make it dead easy. So once you've got that to your client, we have an e-flyer, we have that Facebook piece, send it to them, and just call them with a 5-second courtesy call. I just sent you something for Facebook. Would you just copy and paste that and put it on your Facebook wall? We got the social media share image. If you really want to get fancy and technical, you can change the background color, you can change the words and save it and download it. It's actually something I think you can completely ignore. The single property website we talked about because we showed how we could share the single property website or the listing landing page up here. So you don't really need to do that. We just put it here in case you sort of forget it and you need it. The virtual tour, though, is something that we create automatically by stitching the photos together for your property. And we actually email this tool to you as soon as the listing hits the system. But if you don't get it or gets lost in your spam, just get here and grab it. And my recommendation, and you can see it's got lead capture, my recommendation is to copy the hyperlink at the top. Now, you may want to look at it, but you don't even have to look at it if you know what it is. But you can copy it just by clicking this copy button. And you should take the virtual tour, the branded virtual tour, which is designed to capture lead for you, and put it directly on your listings on Zillow and on Trulia. Because you can actually edit your own listings there. Not a lot of agents do, but you probably know your listings are seen on these websites, right? When I did that search, I think here, this is, I can't remember her name, but this is her listing on Zillow right now, right? So if I'm looking at properties in Menifee and I'm interested in this home, I don't know what's going to happen when oh, there's Sheila, great. But when this lead form gets filled out, I think all 4 of these agents get the same exact lead, right? Even though it's Sheila's listing, that's how it goes. That's the beauty of this website that agents kind of hate, but that's the fact. Now, if you have a virtual tour in here, they can click and look at that virtual tour. And as you can imagine, our virtual tour, it's really just designed to capture leads only for Sheila. We don't sell leads to anybody. If you use our tools, we capture the leads and we send them to you directly. Also, if at this point, if I'm looking at this home and I'm like, I really don't want this home, but I want to look at other homes in Menifee, I can click a link and be taken away from Zillow and Trulia, and taken back to your website. And that's really one of the great things about listings to leads. We focus on getting people back to you. So that's what you do with the virtual tour. Get it on your listings on Zillow and Trulia. Just copy, go over there, log in, paste. Now, there's an e-flyer for your database. If you're collecting names, maybe you've got a group in Google. Maybe you have a CRM and you've got a bunch of email addresses there. Well, we create this, and it looks kind of weird here. It's kind of got some lines on the outside. It's actually a very clean tool. This is the editor. But this is designed to market this home. And if you want to let people know that you got an open house and you got a big email group, you can just copy this at the bottom. Or you could just send it to yourself and forward it on via your email platform. But it does have a link that drives to your lead capture landing page. It also has a link to get your free home value right here, right away. So, and it's got your contact information and your favorite lead gen links down here. So this tool is just automatically generated. All you got to do is copy the code or send it to yourself and then use it. Okay. And it is already wired to capture leads for you. Now there are print flyers for buyers, so maybe you want to use that. But print flyers for nearby homeowners, especially in an open house, is a really big deal, right? And this is a print flyer. It's talking about that open house. It's saying you can even, click here. If you've signed up for our text IVR service, which you can do inside your account, you can have a text number so that people can text and get the mobile information on this home. You would get their lead with a phone number. And then, of course, there's a link right there to your lead capture for home values, and then all your contact information. So again, it's just one of those tools that we automatically generate, and it is a print flyer. And I can tell you, because we've had this for years, that if you're selling a home in a neighborhood, if you want to get more listings in that neighborhood, and you have an open house, well, of course you put a sign in there and you hope to get some, attraction or attention from the neighbors just driving by. But if you print this out and you just door knock and say, hey, everybody, I've got an open house coming up this weekend. If you're interested to see, the price or whatever, come on by. That's just a really smart thing to do. And this print flyer is basically set up to capture leads for you. And we've had clients come back and say, you know what, we printed this. We door knocked for like a half hour, an hour. We came back, we already had leads in our phone from just people opening the door and picking it up because we left it and kept walking because they didn't answer. So it is all about lead gen for us guys. And we want it to be all about lead gen for you as well. There's blog post stuff. Oh, there's the sign-in form. And I think I said it, I showed it to you, but this is an open house. And somebody is going to be sitting at that open house, right, for Sheila. And this landing page is created for you to showcase live, if you've got Wi-Fi, at your open house. So if you've got an iPad or you've got a laptop computer, and I can tell you, let's see here where I have it. Open house, open house, open house. Yes. Iwana here told us, and I don't know if you can see it, she said people are very happy to fill out that form. The key is ask them for feedback, and they're happy to do it. So that's the trick, right? Get this tool. If you got an open house, open it up live and say, we'd really like your feedback on this home. And it just makes it very simple. Oh, it presented well. Do you want to know of the price trains? Do you want to know about new listings in the neighborhood? Name and email. Do you have an agent? Right? Real simple. They're happy to give it. That's kind of the story. Did you have a question? I heard somebody over there, Beth, on your side.
We do have a question. What if it's not your listing and you're holding an open house? What do you do then?
Good question. Good question. You go to listings and you go to add listing. You go to grab active listing and you type in the zip code and you type in the MLS ID. And if it's active for sale on Trulia, we'll pull it in with the photos. You want to check this button here and say it's not your listing. That way you're the showing agent. You're not the listing agent. And you grab and it'll pull in that whole listing. And then you just set the time for the open house. And you go through the task list just like we're doing today. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So we were just about done there, so I just want to finish that step.
Okay. Vince, another question. So what if it's a pending one that's not showing up? How do you manually add a listing?
Yeah.
So that you can do the social media?
That's right. Yes. When the listing is pending or sold, we cannot pull it the way with the grab active listing. So click the add listing button again and click add listing. Now, it is manual, but we're not your MLS. We don't have 100 fields here that need to be filled in. We just need the headline, the MLS ID. What is required here with the asterisk, right? Address, price if you want it, bedrooms, all that kind of basic stuff. And then you save and add photos. That's it. Okay. And that's how you get a listing in. And we're just about to get into the pending and just sold advertising. And I definitely recommend, if you have sold a property in the last 60 days, you get it in here just by clicking the button like I'm showing you right now. And I'm going to show you that in a second. Once we finish that open house piece, I'm going to show you what is so powerful about pending and just sold advertising. So we'll go back to the task list, finish our process for the open house. And the sign and feedback form you're going to use there. If you're blogging, we give you blog post tools you can just copy and paste. And as hopefully you would assume, these blog posts are designed to capture leads for you. And then there's Craigslist. And I'm going to point out Craigslist because I don't know how long you've been a realtor, but boy, Craigslist was a hotbed for lead gen years ago. As I mentioned, we've been doing this for 10 years. When we started 10 years ago, we had only one tool. It is a one-click posting tool to Craigslist. And we built all the kinds of hooks and lead capture things we did on Craigslist. And we are so successful that we got picked up by major, kind of national brands and stuff like that. And we took what we were doing on Craigslist and applied it to everything that a realtor does. And that's what you're looking at today, is a platform with a ton of tools, with a ton of lead gen. That being said, the reason I want to mention Craigslist is, if you do know about Craigslist, you may know that about 4 years ago, they whipped their website upside down and they became really more challenging, and realtors kind of freaked out and said, oh, we're not getting leads there anymore, and it's a sad story and all that. But we have a lot of clients. Our clients are kind of, I think, almost culturally, they're really into lead gen. So they don't just jump around, and they follow us and they stay, because if something is happening in lead generation in the US in real estate, we pretty much know it within, I'd say, 3 days. If something is changing, we're always aware of it. What we're looking at right here are the top websites in the United States. Google is number one. It's a great website. Everybody starts their searches there for almost everything. But for you as a realtor, as a real estate agent, it is really hard to be on page one of Google. I did give you a tip. A YouTube video can usually get you there. Notice YouTube is number 2, and YouTube is owned by Google. Reddit, I don't know a whole lot about Reddit. I mean, I know about it, but I don't know about lead gen. Facebook is number 4, and it is that's why we get a lot of lead gen here. But back down here, number 16 is Craigslist. And in the US, for Craigslist to be number 16, that's a heck of a lot of traffic. And what has happened is your competitors, the other realtors in the market, walked away from Craigslist years ago. But your target market, the consumers, the buyers and sellers of homes, haven't budged. Craigslist used to be number 10 10 years ago on the internet. It is now number 16. And with other websites coming, that's pretty awesome. So your target market is there. And there are some very cool ways to get leads from Craigslist. But the simple way to get your listing out there, this is a bit of a process. Notice my mouse turns from a pointer to a finger. That means I can click on this. I'm dragging it up to my toolbar. And if I move it around, you can't probably see it, but there's a little vertical line, and that vertical line means I can let it go and it will embed this app right here onto my toolbar. And all of your listings flow through this app. So if I want to post the one here, I can copy, and then I just open up Craigslist. I create a home for sale by broker, and I just copy and paste this information back and forth. That's it. We are going to actually streamline that and go back to our one-click posting tool. But right now, that's how you get to Craigslist. And I just had a call yesterday with one of our clients who is still generating, I think he told me 100 leads a day. He is hammering Craigslist, and they're free leads. I won't go into it on this call because there's so much you can do without that. I'll just tell you, get your ad on Craigslist. If you sign up for the text IVR, you get a unique code, and then you can go here and print out a sign writer. Or you can use the text numbers when you're running ads on Facebook. So if you have text IVR, we will actually embed it in the listing landing page, And you can type it in your ad and say, hey, if you want to just text this to that, you'll get the instant information. Instagram is changing. I have been telling people for at least a year, just don't even worry about Instagram. It's just not worth thinking about. I actually have an Instagram account and I share a lot of music stuff and art projects that I work in, but I don't worry about it for business. I don't think about it for business. And realtors, I've often told them, don't think about it for business. Until 2 days ago when one of my clients said, Vince, I ran a home value ad and it got on Instagram and I got a listing lead on Instagram. And I can't show you what it is happening, but I've seen it myself that they actually, I'll kind of show, I'll get you close to what it looks like. And it blew me away. And she's saying, I'm not even running it out. I'm just putting it on my business page. And Facebook is pushing it to Instagram and I'm getting free leads over there. So you can learn more here and we're going to learn more and we're going to be putting more under that link there. I showed you how you get to YouTube. You can actually connect your profile and auto upload there. Oh, I think I got a video here just to show people what video looks like. With that, this is kind of a funny, I did a demo yesterday. And this is a YouTube listing video. So I want to kind of point out, Beth and I and Richard haven't talked about this too much, but if you're paying a professional photographer for photos, many of them will give you a really handy virtual tour. And if you get that virtual tour on YouTube, I recommend that you take it and you go to edit and you click on photo and videos and click on video and 3D tour and you put your YouTube video right there. Now there's a link there that I actually copied and pasted there yesterday. So let's go look at what that looks like. It actually shows up on the single property website. Here is the open house listing landing page. This is the single property website. And let's click and look at it. I thought I took it out, but it looks like it's there. I did take it out. Okay. Well, you can actually embed, you can embed your YouTube video and it will just be showing right here. So if you've got a really great video, leverage our platform because our platform, as you can see, is designed to capture leads. Video content, as compelling as it is, almost can never capture a lead. So that's why you want to embed it in our tool to get the most out of it. So we went through the status of marketing my open house. I've been talking and kind of showing you, and so it takes me a little bit longer. It might take you 5 or 10 minutes to get all those tools out. And you really, when you first list it, that's when you do the bulk of your things. But if you want to get the message out on the open house, go through the task list. If you want to say it's pending, do the task list. But just sold it's very similar to the pending marketing. So I've got a property that's sold here, and you definitely want to take advantage of our just sold marketing and click on the task list. And there are really only a few things you need to do here because most of it's out. Your social media. If you sell a home, you want to tell people that you know how to sell a home. And what I recommend is you don't use the listing landing page. We're looking at the listing landing page here. I recommend you use the single property website. And it'll show you what it looks like. And what you can sort of imagine is once you choose the right tool, just click it and share it to all the social media platforms like I showed you earlier, right? But let's click on it just so we can look at it together and explain to you why I think the single property website is better when a home is pending or sold. It's because if I look at it, if I see something for sale on or sold or pending on the internet and I'm looking at it, it's probably because I'm owning a home and I'm wondering what is that home worth. And this lead capture page right here says you can have the closing price and you can get your free home value right here by typing in your address. So just sold and pending advertising is really designed to help you get more listings. Now I see a question here. If you have questions, let me know. If you have a team, 2 or more, should I use this tool as a team or should I have each team have their own login? Ron, that is your choice. You can go to your profile and change your name to the team name. There's actually a little spot there. You type in the team name, and you can share those. But it kind of depends on what you're after. Let's just, because I don't know how many people are in your team, and I don't know what it is configured like. But let's do the simple team. I am a listing agent, and you are the buyer's agent. And we're going to use all my listings, and I'm really good at getting listings, so I'm going to talk to people who want to sell a home. And when I get that, I'm going to start marketing it, and I'm going to send all those leads to you, who are my buyer's agent, and you're going to qualify them and get them going and get them to buy a house. Maybe ours, maybe another house. You might just want to change the name on your account, on your team name, to your team name. And there's a place on your profile, well, let's go look at that together, where you can say, I'm going to go to the profile, and we're kind of diverting here, but it's a good question. Go to the profile, and where it says profile details, this is where you can say team name, and I'm going to say it's Ron's team, right? And if I do that and I check this box, that is going to change all my marketing to where instead of it says my name, it's going to say Ron's team. That's the team, right? So you put your team name there, whatever it is, and you check that, and that's how you change it. But down here in contact details, my primary email, it says send leads and tools to. You may want to say, you know what, I want my buyer's agent to be here, and I'm going to say send all leads to. Or I can send all tools and leads to. But you can sort of control it that way. And so that's how I recommend. You just look at that and say, oh, how do we want to do this? You can certainly add another agent, and some people will have have their other team on there because there are a lot of tools in there, and they can use many more than just market your listings to get leads all over the place. We're going to jump into that in a minute, but I want to finish this story about just sold and pending advertising because you definitely want to get it on social media, not just Facebook, LinkedIn, definitely. And those other big ones, I definitely recommend it because you're telling the market that you're out there and you're a realtor. And I will tell you this, here's a little sneaky thing about, because I know you don't know, well, I'm going to just assume you don't know a ton about social media. Twitter is actually a pretty interesting place where people see you. And always, since it's sold, market the single property website. And when you go to Twitter, all you got to do is log in and tweet. If I was logged in, we'd be in there. I want to give you a couple of tips. Hashtags are very big on Twitter. And wherever your home is usually a hashtag that people that live in there sort of follow, right? Santa Clarita, Valencia. Real estate is definitely, and if you want other realtors to see this, because you want them to bring their buyer's agent, number one hashtag in real estate is actually realtors. That is used more often in real estate advertising than anything else. And then maybe open house, right? But hashtags are really, really powerful on Twitter. And when you log in and tweet, boom, those will all be there. And that just helps get your things seen by other people. Bare minimum, the word real estate and the town where that home is. I really recommend it. And I recommend you get out on Twitter and that'll help you out. But once you've done your own social media marketing, remember I was talking about social media where we're leveraging the client, the homeowner. Once you change that listing to sold, we automatically send this to you, and I want you to see what this is about. We email it to you, and it is difficult for me to do here because I'm in this little editor, but it's easier in your email. You could just forward it, but get this content to your client, and again, give them that 5-second courtesy call, and say, hey, would you put this up on your wall? I'm so glad we sold your house, but just take that, copy it, and put it on there and just post it, just like I did just now. And here's why. Your client, if they're on Facebook, they have a few hundred friends on Facebook. They're ex-colleagues, they're the people they work with. They're their family, of course. And there are other friends. And what they've just done is they have just pasted a testimonial about you. Our home is sold, And Beth at Realty Executives is doing we want to recommend her for doing a great job. Here is her phone number and email, all written right there for all of your friends to see, their friends to see. And when one of their friends clicks on this, what happens? But the just sold single property website happens. And what happens in 5 seconds or 3 seconds or 10 seconds based on your settings? A lead capture form pops up offering them a free instant home value. So it's all about lead gen, guys. From coming soon to just listed to open house and pending. And I recommend you leverage the social media because that's what all of our clients are doing. And they are literally generating hundreds of leads every month. And I think if you're generating hundreds of leads every month, that is going to help your business. And just to say, and I'll see if I can show you, some statements in our mastermind group. It's not just leads. We're not just collecting emails. People are getting business. They're getting people pre-qualified. They're getting, I think I can find it and show you. Actually, maybe it's right here. I think it's David who posted this. And David's up in Northern California. He's up in Sacramento. He said two of these people are ready to go in 1 to 2 months. And that's selling a house. So if you can get a couple of listings from running a couple of ads and still have another 115 leads to drip on, that if you can do that every weekend, I can tell you that's going to transform your business. So when we're just sold, at least get it out on social media. At least get it out on your seller social media, because that's where you're going to get the referrals from. The single property website, if you've got it out on the internet anywhere, it's going to update to just sold. You may not need to do it, but getting it out on social media is the smartest. If your virtual tour is on Zillow and Trulia, it doesn't matter. It's sold. The virtual tour will still be there, and it will say the status will change to sold, so you don't even need to touch it. You may or may not want to do, printer, for nearby homeowners. You don't even need to worry about the rest. I think just getting that social media out there at every status is really the thing to do. So if there are any questions in this area, and Beth, if you've got any, let's kind of talk about them. And I am going to... Go ahead, Beth.
Do you have a copy of the report that the person gets when they click on the home evaluation?
No, but let's just do it. Actually, you know what? We're going to do that in a minute. Because we're about to jump into how to market and how to get our landing pages out there and get more listings. Guys, is it almost 11 o'clock? Have I been talking for an hour? If I have, I got to apologize, but if you can hang on, we're going to jump into the most powerful tool, which Beth is talking about, which is what does that valuation look like? And that is in the landing page section. And this is the tool. When you go to landing pages, we've got more than 15 different landing pages. And I'm gonna before I show you that answer on the property valuation plus, I know in here, because I use my reading glasses, I know on your challenge is a place to create a custom landing page, a custom buyer landing page. And that's a smart thing to do, and there may be reasons for you to do it. So let's do that. And then we're going to get a proper property valuation plus, which is the #1 tool that people are interested in, get more listings. To create a custom landing page, go here and go to custom landing page for buyers. And then click add landing page. Now you can do this for all the markets that you're in. You might be selling homes in, 4 or 5 different towns. But let's say for this one, you want to just focus on Valencia. Just type in the name of that town and click save. And that's going to create, it's going to drop you right on the editor. And the first thing to do might be to change that background picture, right? Because I haven't been to Valencia. I don't think there are streets that look like that. So you could say, hey, I want to do upload a background picture, and let's just say, for whatever reason, this is a better picture, right? Just to show you how it works, right? So you get it, you get the photo that you want, you click save, and you'll see that the background changes immediately, okay? And we'll give it a second to do that. And now there's another area here, the lead form text. Notice it says down payer assistance. Maybe you might want to say, hey, new development, let's call it Bellevue, right? There's a new development, new complex coming online. There's new construction. Whatever it is that I type here, it's going to flow over here. And I'm going to say, sign up for what is that term when you have these incentives for the latest incentives? You know, when you want to get buyers in early, right? And I'm going to just save it. And when I save that, it puts over here, it changes those words that were there to my dorky language there. Now, another interesting point here is custom content. You can choose bullet points. You can put that countdown thing too, right? So you might want to say, there's something that ends on June 30th, right? So if I put in June 30th, it's the deadline, click save. It puts a clock. We'll see it. I'm saving it. We'll see it right here. So it's kind of it's a time sensitive situation. Maybe you have a first time home buyers class happening. Who knows what you're doing? Maybe there's something time sensitive that you have an offer available for. You can just snap that clock in there. Maybe you have a video that you want to present, right? And you just go over to YouTube and go to whatever your video content is, and maybe you created your own on your smartphone, or maybe you got a professional, or maybe you bought something like Santa Clarita drone. If you go Santa Clarita drone, you might see, well, let's not do the fire. Let's, you can just copy this link here, and you can go back to your custom landing page and say, oh, I want that video to be there, and I'm going to save it, and it replaces that clock, and it puts in a cool video, right? And let's just click and view it. And so you can type in your own text, right? But now I can watch this video and I can kind of see about Santa Clarita, and I can't control the volume here, so that's kind of lame. But they can click here and you can get the lead information. They can get the information that they want. So I see some questions here, so let's take that. Are you able to change the pics on the landing page? Yes, I just showed you how we did that, so I'm pretty sure we answered that question. So that's how you do the custom landing page, and that's actually on your little chart there. That was one of the few things I could read with my horrible eyes. But the number one tool, I think, in listings to leads right now, the reason that about 20 people sign up every day just to access our platform, is this tool. It's called Property Valuation Plus. And I recommend when you log into your account, I'm gonna step backwards because I was talking and not showing you what I was doing. When you get your account, you do exactly what I am going to do right now. And you do this for every town where you want to get listings. You probably have 2 or 3 towns where you want to do listings, and you take these steps to get these tools ready. Click on Add Landing Page, go to Property Valuation Plus, click the green button, Add Landing Page, and it takes you to this location. And you want to say Santa Clarita, right? Or whatever town it is. You do this for each town. You don't do this countywide. And give it a second. And You want to, as the question was for the last background page, you definitely want to change this. This background picture is pretty close to useless. So click this upload image, get a nice picture of Santa Clarita, and put it in the background. That's not Santa Clarita, but you kind of get the idea. Once it's done 100%, you can save it. And then it's going to say, let's just look at what it looks like. It says, what is your Santa Clarita home worth? And it has this nice picture. You can also put a video in the background, but that's a little techy. You don't need to do that. But a good solid background picture is really helpful. And I got to kind of divert. That background picture is extremely important. And I set up, the offices for listings leads across the country, and I do this kind of call for all of our clients. And after I set up an office in Summit, New Jersey, a month later, the manager called me and said, Vince, that was a great call. We're running ads. We're getting a lot of leads. But the craziest thing is the #1 home value page getting clicked on has this picture in the background. And this is in Summit, New Jersey. This is the diner on Main Street. And everybody knows this old diner because it's on Main Street. And if you know Summit, New Jersey, you know that diner. And that is really the point, is you are trying to make people feel comfortable with giving you their address and contact information. And if you just have this generic looking page, they don't know who you are and what this is. It doesn't work as well. So you really want to be thinking, what is it that shows people that I know Valencia or Santa Clarita or whatever town it is? Is it the local restaurant? Is it the high school? Is it a big landmark? You know what it is. I don't know what it is, but I want you to just be thinking about that when you're creating these pages. So the other thing I want to point out too, and this is actually, it's a little bit techy, but I really want you to know this because it will be something that you're going to start having to learn. There's a Facebook registration button, and I think I have an example of it here. Continue with Facebook. That's what we call Facebook registration. When you're looking for buyers, this can be awesome. People click it so fast, it just really works out well. When you're looking for sellers, it does not work well at all. So while you might think use Facebook registration is just so cool and so great, when you're trying to get listing leads, we do not recommend it at all. I also can, on page 2, this is where, page 1, it's what's your address, and you can have a unit number if you're doing a lot of condos in your area. But on page 2, you can click here. This shapes what the form is actually asking. And it's saying the name, in my case, is hidden. The email is required. You can make the phone number optional, but never make a phone number required because it just destroys your lead gen. So you just want to sort of know that that's what's going on. Let's look at this page and let's answer that question about what you actually see and what happens. So if you're using just sold or pending advertising on the single property website, it works just like this. This landing page will work for residential properties anywhere in the US. And the way it works is you type in your address. And you type your address and get the free value, right? And what happens is the page it sits there for a second and it drops you on a map. On a map of your home. And that's meant, again, to get that consumer comfortable with the fact that you actually know what they're interested in, which is their home, the address that you have. But even though we took the time to get a local picture that looks just like Santa Clarita, and we're showing them their home right on a map, 90% of the people would rather close this page than give you their email address. Okay? So you really have to know that right off the bat. You might start getting a bunch of addresses. And those addresses are great because you can sort of follow up and start to try to convert them. But you know people are interested. You just know they don't want to they don't want you to be contacting them like that. But if they do, they have to give you an email address. You can say, well, why? And I'm thinking about selling. You can require this to be there, or you can remove it. When you click view the report, they can only get the valuation if they've given you their email address in this case. And when we do, let's wait and we'll see what's happening. It's going to drop us on the valuation. And it says, okay, here's your home value. And I, the consumer, get this number right away. I can even schedule a meeting with you, but that doesn't happen too often. But you, the agent, get the address and the contact information that they gave you and this valuation. And the first thing you should do is respond immediately and say, hey, I saw you got that value. Does that number seem right? Have you done any improvements? Things like that. And that's conversion, right? You may not have generated a lot of leads in your real estate career. If you start leveraging our tools, you are going to start getting a lot of leads. And the next thing to think of is, how am I going to convert those leads? And so I know Beth and Richard have a lot of ideas about that. And so they're going to help you there. But that is how the property valuation landing page works. And what I want to do now, if you're still on the call, is I'm going to show you the number one thing people do with this to get leads. And as I showed you before, when we just started the call, this guy's got 117 leads because he took that tool and he put it $157 on it. He probably had a bigger budget. A lead on Facebook for a home value is about $1 a lead. So you may not know what I'm talking about. Let's go to Facebook and let's run an ad together and you will see what it is. You go to Facebook, you click create an ad. And when you create an ad, give me a second, guys. It always takes you to this page. And the first question it is, you won't see this. I got an ad blocker on my browser, so it always gives me that because they don't like me for that. You always want to use traffic. Now it's asking me, do you want to start over? It's because I was doing this yesterday. So, and I want to point this out because if you know anything about online advertising and you hear about all the great coaches and people out there on the internet talking about Facebook advertising, they will tell you many different things. And we have clients all over the country and we focus on lead gen and we only tell you one thing. Use our tools and use this button that says traffic. Do not use lead gen, do not use conversion or engagement. We've been doing Facebook advertising probably within 30 days of when Facebook started having an advertising platform. So we kind of know what we're talking about here. You want to give the campaign a name. I'm going to call it value, short for home value, and I'm going to call it Santa Clarita. Nobody sees this but you. And type in the date, okay? And the reason why I want you to give it a campaign name is when I'm done running this ad and we go through this process, I'm going to tell you how many ads you need to be running if you want to really grow your business, okay? And what that means is you're going to consistently run ads on Facebook and you're going to start generating hundreds of leads every month, and you need to be able to analyze what's going on. This right here is the reason why Facebook is so incredibly powerful in real estate. You can actually type in Santa Clarita, if you know how to spell it, California. And it's going to say, hey, okay, great. Santa Clarita plus 25 miles. That might be good if you're doing an open house. Right? You want people to know in the next towns that you're a realtor and you got a home for sale. But when the page only says, what is your Santa Clarita home worth? Well, that means you don't want everybody in the world to see it. You just want the people who live in Santa Clarita. So you want to change this 25 mile to current city only. And you don't want everybody in this location. You want people who live in this location. Okay. And that is the incredibly powerful part of Facebook that not a lot of people know of. You probably don't want 18-year-olds looking at this because they're not in probably the position to be selling a home in Santa Clarita. And from there, you can get fancy in dealing demographics. I recommend you ignore that for now. You actually don't even need to touch it. You still have huge success. Placements is a #1 place where people make a mistake. They actually don't stop and go to placements. They just leave it automatic, which is Facebook recommends you do that. But if you're trying to get listings, I recommend you do edit it and you say desktop only. Our landing pages are actually mobile optimized, but we as people are not. So I don't recommend it. Get rid of the right column here. You just want it on the feed. That's the best thing. And here is the big deal. Lifetime budget. You want to make this minimally when you're starting $30. And you always want to run an ad starting on Friday, if you're trying to get listings, and ending it on Monday. This is the best time to capture listing leads, is on the weekend, okay? It keeps telling me I've got this error, and I don't understand it. Why? So I'm going to say lifetime budget. And for some reason, it says it doesn't see it, but we'll ignore that. It's just some weird thing on Facebook. You want to choose your business page. My real estate one fell off, so we'll look at my healthy eating business page. You want to run a single image ad. And down here is where you create where you're going to send that traffic to. Paste in the link, click that little red button, and it will push in a picture. And we'll see what it pushes in right now. It shows us that background picture. Home values have changed. And the default line here is okay. But I actually think here is a better line. And you're going to know the real stats. 30 homes sold in Santa Clarita last month. And 890K was the high. And the real money language is click here to get your online home value in less than 15 seconds. Free. That's a loaded sentence right there. Click here is telling them what to do. Online home value means I don't have to talk to you. I'm just going to get this. And because we're all ADD today, 15 seconds, I can do that. I can handle that. And free is always good. It does say, what is your Santa down here? I'm going to change that to free Santa Clarita home values. And whatever I type here shows up under the field here. Whatever I type here shows up here. Okay? You post an ad by clicking confirm. They'll say, hey, we want to review it, and then we're going to make it live. Oh, always certify that you're compliant, and that will make it so that they approve it easy. So click that blue button and then click confirm. Okay? What will happen at the end of the ad on Monday, in this example, is you're going to get a message from Facebook that says, congratulations, you succeeded in running an ad. And what that means is you succeeded in giving money to Facebook. It does not mean you succeeded in generating leads, okay? So the 3 top mistakes that realtors make is they do not have compelling language up here, like 30 homes sold in Santa Clarita. They do not have a good picture that really gets people to slow down and look. And they also put this on the default placement, so it's on mobile and on desktop. And they always come back and say, oh, I got 100 clicks, but I got no leads. And it's because people were not comfortable with that interaction on their phone. Something kind of techie. I'm not really good at it, but I will kind of spell it to you here because our clients that generate a lot of leads do this. When they're writing their text inside what's going to be visible to people, they put in emojis. And you know, emojis to me, it just sounds like little kid stuff. So it just sounds silly, right? I just don't even pay attention to it. But for people who put in emojis, I think it's just the fact that it's colorful and it slows down the eye. I think that's all it is. I think it's just human nature. I put in a kiwi. The kiwi is irrelevant, right? But I'm just showed you. That's how I barely even know what they are. Emojis I always think of as kids. But if you go look at our mastermind group, you're going to see that the top ads actually have dollar signs and arrows and all these fun things. And it slows people's eyes down enough to actually go, oh, what are they saying? And so I just want to point that out. It's a tricky little tip. So that's pretty awesome. Now, that's how you run an ad. I'm going to point out something earlier in the call. I was talking about Instagram. That's how you run an ad. But one of our clients came up in a class like this today. I did a class sometime this week. And she said, you know what, Vince, I am just putting that home value ad. I write my own little thing on my business page. So I'm going to go over to listings. This is our listings to leads business page on Facebook. And all she did, give it a second to get there, is she wrote something kind of cool. Well, I'll show you. Like, you know, whatever. Great, you know, great home value. Like that line I wrote on the other one, right? Great home sales in Santa Clarita, right? You want to really know this. This kind of blew my mind. If you have Instagram, this is free. You can actually type in whatever your message is and paste in that link. And this shows up on your business page. All right. And if you have your Facebook business page connected to your Instagram, what is amazing, and she didn't even boost it, but you see how, like actually, this is not a good example. This, what she typed here, pushed to Instagram, and it looked almost just like this. But it had a little button underneath it that said learn more. And when it said learn more, the landing page popped up in its mobile format, and somebody filled it out, and she actually got a listing lead for free. So that's something I'm just learning. We're actually going to have a call. She and I are going to have a call on Monday. You might want to get in our mastermind group because I am going to put that discussion up in our mastermind group. So guys, I've held you a long time and I appreciate you joining us. I'm going to be in your office doing a presentation. We're going to spend a little more time going on this. So hopefully you've watched this and you've learned something and you have a lot of questions. But I'm going to point out one last thing. While this is, two last things, this is the most popular tool, and getting that on Facebook is the number one thing to do with it. If you want to get substantial results, and meaning higher volume of leads and higher volume of quality, run ads on these open houses and just listeds and just solds. And you can do that every week for $20, 4 days. Thousands of people will see that. You build your brand on Facebook so that on the weekend when you run this ad, people are familiar with you, they're comfortable with you. They're going to be more comfortable filling out their address and their contact information. And that is a huge thing because they start to actually interact with you instead of just filling out a form and forgetting that they filled out a form. Okay. So there's a couple last things. This is our business page. We also have a Facebook mastermind group. And the pictures that I've shown you from our clients saying, hey, this is awesome, they come from our mastermind group because this is where our clients are communicating with us and where they're communicating and asking us questions, right? And you will see every once in a while people saying, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what my landing page looks like. And I'm just sort of blasting through here, but I think I do have something here that just came up a couple days ago. Here's a client this is actually Slava, is the young lady who posted her tool on Facebook. It showed up on Instagram and she got the listing from there. Here's one of our clients saying, I ran an ad on open house. I got 61 leads. So she took that tool that I was saying, listing landing page for the open house, ran an ad and got 61 leads. She did it slightly differently. She didn't use as much money, and she did it during the week. And so that is really my recommendation, is use our task list. Our tools are all designed to capture leads for you. Go through them. That once you get the hang of it, it's really easy. Run an ad every week about a listing on Facebook. Even if you're borrowing that listing, do it for 20 bucks. And now you can say, I want everybody who lives within 10 miles of Valencia or 25 miles of Santa Clarita to see this. Now thousands of people are going to start to see that you're a realtor for 20 bucks. And then on the weekends in those same areas, run your home valuation landing page. That is the boiled down version of our Facebook strategy. Hopefully I didn't blow your minds here and your heads aren't spinning, but I am going to thank you all for joining us. Use this platform. You can literally generate hundreds of leads. If not, get just a ton of exposure if you don't want leads. But the trick to listings to leads is if you use it, you'll generate leads. If you ignore it, it doesn't do anything. Beth, are there any questions on your side?
I have one final question, and we're really looking forward to you coming out on Thursday. But, to be compliant, we have to have our license number on anything that we're putting out to the general public.
Yeah.
So I know you have that in the profile. So how does that appear on some of that stuff that's going on Facebook?
Well, if it's on Facebook, the ad, let's kind of see it. Let's see if I can show you something on Facebook. So here, this is actually what an ad looks like on Facebook. And I don't know if it's clickable and all that, but it's not, because it's kind of, but if your license number needs to be visible here, you'll have to type it in there. That's actually showing on Facebook. But let's go back to my page, and hopefully I've got something here. And this will be a better example. I think we've got something here. Here is me sharing things about my open house. Now, on my, if you click on this tool, the tool that you are sharing actually will be here, and your license number will be down here. Your license number will not flow into the ad itself. And if that's a requirement from your MLS, when you write the ad, type in your license number. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. It is, because we do have your license numbers on your profiles. They do show up in our tools, but they don't automatically show up on Facebook or any social media. If that is a requirement by your MLS, put your license number there. Any other questions?
Okay. Where do they get videos or other training that they can look at this weekend if they're interested?
Sure. If you go, when you log into your account, you can go to, give me a second, right here. If you want to know about Facebook advertising, you can click on Facebook here, and you're going to see that we have a video here. We'll tell you a little bit, but we have a video on, there's 4 different sections in this video. How to create a landing page for sellers. We just did that together. How to edit that landing page for sellers. We did that together. And how to place an ad for seller leads. We did that together as well. And then there's also free market update email. So how to update and follow up. If you're in our section, you want to just get started, you can look here, open house marketing, you could look at here. But remember, I told you, like, the number one thing is get into this listings page, make sure your status is correct, and then click on the task list. And if you can just get there, you're going to see, and you can't see it here. Oh yeah, over here on the right, I'm hovering, it says questions. There's a little light bulb. And notice that there's a whole stack of tasks, right? And I did them together, and you probably forgot how I did them. But if you get to this page and you click on this light bulb, you're going to see the support page that is directly correlated to that page. And all those tasks there are actually covered in this video here. And there are 17 kind of sub-segments, right? And if you just want to remember, what did he say about the virtual tour? Click on it here, and it'll take you right to that section that shows you right what to do for that particular step in the process. Another important piece is we have 3 live training classes every week for all of our clients. And I recommend, it's on the homepage, you can register for those classes right here. I recommend you get on those calls. And on Facebook, I recommend that you, if at least once a month, because things change on Facebook all the time. And I recommend you keep on top of what's happening. I can tell you this, with social media or with real estate advertising in general and internet marketing, if something is happening or changing or becoming valuable and popular, we're going to know about it. And we're going to have it in our platform. It happened, you know, we add tools to this almost every 30 days, sometimes more often. And that's because things change so fast. So stay on top of what we're doing by getting on our live calls. You will learn about the right words to use, what words are getting people to click when you're writing an ad. And that's kind of it. I think that kind of sort of helps you. Those things are there. We also have 4 support people. So if you have a question, use this support tab and put your question right here, because our whole support team watches that. And I recommend you leverage that, and definitely get into our mastermind group. Beth, I am going to put the recording of this up on YouTube, and I'm going to send it to you with instructions on how to get into the mastermind group. So if you forward that, everybody's going to see that. I recommend, guys, that you get in our mastermind group this weekend and look at what people are saying, and you're going to start seeing all the terrific ways and how generous our clients are to share what they're doing in our platform. Okay. So thanks, everybody. Beth, any other questions?
No, great. Lots of great information. Sorry we ran over, but just so much great information.
That's my fault. There are a lot of tools in our system. You know, take it off bit by bit and start using, you know, the platform. They all give you results. All right, Beth. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. I'm going to get this up online. I'll have this to you by the end of the day, Beth.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody.